Everybody, welcome to Artists on Record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artists. And tonight, who do we have in the hot seat? We have Mr. Michael Monroe. Michael has a new album out, I Live Too Fast to Die Young. The new album and links are down below in our description. But please, what's your favorite song from Michael's new album? Put those comments down below. In the meantime, get ready to rock and roll with Michael and I. It all starts now. Don't touch that dial. Mr. Michael Monroe, one of the best frontmen out there, legendary, and you played on records that influenced me and a lot of others, and you're still rocking and rolling. You played with Alice Cooper some dates, and you did some 𝗠𝗓𝗏 dates, man. How's all that going?
Yeah, it was good. Well, we did about 7 with Alice, and then we had 2 lined up, except we ended up doing 1 with Guns N' Roses in London, opening for them at the Tottenham Stadium, Hotspur Stadium. That was great. It was great playing with Alice Cooper. You know, it's been a huge influence always, and it's great guy. And he's doing his show. It was great to get to see his show every night. Being a big fan, and you know, quite a few times he invited me up to sing Schools Out with him, and on my birthday, when I turned 60, my 60th birthday, he invited me up, and he had a cake brought up to me, and I had the audience. He sang the happy birthday song with the audience to me, and I was like, the best birthday ever, you know.
That man, how cool is that? You know, I saw a video, and for everybody out there, you are one of the greatest harmonica players out there, and sax players, and it's true. And you had like a dueling thing with Alice. You guys, there's a clip of you guys.
Oh yeah. I brought in some harps, the Suzuki harps that I've been getting from Japan, and I brought him some because I noticed he played harp on a song. In the song "I've Fallen in Love and I Can't Get Up." He was playing a harp on that, and I was just asked him what kind of harp he plays, and I brought him these Suzuki harps, and he tried them, and he thought, "Wow, it sounds great." So it sounded much better and louder and clearer than the harp that he was using. So I was able to give him back something because he's given me so much. So, and then we ended up jamming in the backstage. It was in Poland, I think. Yeah. There's a little clip of us jamming. That was really cool.
I mean, you got to pinch yourself a little bit, because even though you're such a big influence on everybody else, so from the other side, Mike Monroe over here, you're getting to play jam with your idol up there, and then just bond with him in that moment. You know, you got to pinch yourself for a second. Do you get those moments like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this, like afterwards with Alice Cooper?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a dream come true. It's really cool. And that birthday thing was, I could not believe when I was 10 years old that 50 years from then I would even be alive, let alone have Alice Cooper sing a happy birthday to me with the whole audience in Germany.
Dude,
incredible.
It really is incredible. I got to tell you, I saw you around 84, and I was 16, 17 years old, maybe. L'Amour's in Brooklyn, and you were the first guys from touring Two Steps from the Move. You were touring the record, and you were the first guy to come out with a sax. And I remember being there, watching, mesmerized, like, oh my God, this guy is so rock and roll. Because everybody back then, it was a time where everybody's and headbanging, and you guys came out with the influence, everything that I like, the Little Richard, just all that stuff that I grew up with.
Yeah, exactly. That was the first time, apparently, that they had a saxophone in the building at L'Amour's.
Yeah, it was, because every band that was there, it was all hardcore metal. Because guys, you know, it's crazy, because your old band Hanoi Rocks and the new band that you're doing now, it's all rock and roll. But then you get into this mixture with heavy metal, glam rock, and it's not. It's blues, punk, it's everything.
That's where the roots. That's where the roots are. Yeah, that's right. And we had strong roots that way, and where rock and roll comes from. To me, it's the same thing. And there's a lot of bands that came out in the 80s, and the hair metal bands, and they didn't have such strong roots, you know. It was more about the side effects, more about the posing.
Now you're doing it again. You got a great band. We were talking earlier. A mutual friend is the backbone. 𝗠𝗓𝗏 Rockfist, one of the greatest guys and a great drummer. Me and Carl would talk about when he first joined you guys and playing, and he goes, "Oh, Mike, the facial hair. You can never have facial hair." So I hope I didn't offend you in my interview. The facial hair.
Don't worry about it. It's an old joke. It's an old. I was known for firing people for having facial hair in my band, but it's not true.
It's not true. Okay. Don't fire Carl. He's my friend, and I can't afford the moving back to the States. Okay.
Yeah, I can. That's funny. Yeah, no, that's not really true. It's just a rumor.
It's just okay.
That was cool, maybe. Yeah.
Well, at least I got to make you laugh. Okay, I got questions from the fans. I know you got a lot of interviews, and I hope I could bring you back here again. You are going to be going on tour. You guys are going out with Black Star Riders, I believe. Is that happening?
Oh, yeah, that's happening in February next year. Yeah, we're doing some stuff. Yeah, and Phil Campbell and his bastard sons are also on the bill. That's going to be in February 2023.
I'm from Brooklyn. I can't pronounce these names over here. The Skadro Jet Festival. You could pronounce it better than me, But
the Swedish one is 𝗬𝗢𝗡𝗥𝗢𝗘. I think 𝗬𝗢𝗡𝗥𝗢𝗘. It's a funny name, but that's like next Saturday, I think.
So you're nonstop. You just keep rocking and going, man.
Well, yeah. Now that we had a real long break because it's been for a couple of years, we couldn't play with the band because everybody lives across the in different countries, so we couldn't get together to play for over 2 years. We just started like the beginning of the summer, but we had some dates in the spring. We did a few dates in Finland, and then started in the beginning of June. We played in Germany, the Rock Hard Festival, and then went on to the Alice Cooper shows and all. So yeah, now we're getting to play again. So it feels great to be able to do this again and being on the road and doing shows with this band, especially because this is a really great chemistry and an exceptional band.
You have a great band, and I've been following you forever since the beginning of your career. Like, as far when I found that album, and actually Ryan Roxy and I got our nose pierced. And here's a little trivia. So next time you see Roxy, you could bust his chops. I took mine out. It was because of that Hanoi, the 2 Steps from the Move album. We'd look at the cover, we'd stare at the cover. And then I remember the picture of Andy with the nose ring. So Roxy and I went both to Trash and Vaudeville in Philadelphia and pierced our nose because of you guys. Just remember that. So now you could bust his chops. But I got questions from the fans. The fans want to know. Eric Singer from Kiss. He wants to know, well, you're a fan of Nazareth, and of course, what made you pick Not Faking It for your solo record?
Of course, I was a huge fan of Nazareth. That was one of my favorite bands, and I always have. And Dan McCafferty is one of the greatest singers of all time. It's incredible, the sound, and obviously a big influence on Axl Rose. And Axl told me himself back in the day. So yeah, Nazareth, one of the first bands I got into. I mean, I think to me they're as important as the Rolling Stones, with the original singer.
Yes.
I've heard that they keep playing now without Dan McCafferty, and it's I think Dan McCafferty, is this important part of the band to me, anyways. Yeah. Fantastic band, amazing. I posted some stuff when we played at a festival with Dan McCafferty. Unfortunately, he's not very well. He's can't sing that well anymore. But we saw him at this festival, and I posted a bunch of links to Nazareth, my favorite Nazareth songs. I've turned so many people onto Nazareth that you'd be surprised. Really a huge fan of Nazareth. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. Sure.
One of the favorite.
With Dan McCafferty singing. That's
huge
cool.
fan. Yeah.
I would say my favorite Nazareth album was Loud and Proud, which Not Faking It yourself, and Hair of the Dog, of course, 𝗬𝗩𝗪𝗧, and Close Enough for Rock and Roll, and Rampant, and and many more. The Boogaloo album has got some great stuff too. A really, exceptional band.
And Eric is also a big fan of your band, Demolition 23. He's like,
oh yeah. Demolition 23 album is going to be re-released, remastered and re-released now. Little Steven is putting it out in this year in October. It comes out on a vinyl and a CD as well, and it'll be and digital in all formats, and it's remastered. I was there, the remastering. It sounds even better than before. It's got the drums are more kicking, and it's really it's a shame that the record wasn't available, hasn't been available for many years, but now Steven is putting it out finally, and on the Wicked Cool label, and something to look forward to. We always play a couple of songs of that album.
Do you?
Yeah. So what are you saying? Eric Singer is asking these questions?
These are the questions from Eric Singer. You know, Mike,
wow.
you don't know it, but
I love that guy.
I have another question, okay? Because Eric was friends with the drummer Jimmy Clark. They're both from Cleveland, and he was in a cover band Sylvany in the 70s, and they both would play the scene. So that's what he was asking. So I got another friend, the guy who made me move from New York City to Los Angeles, Ryan Roxy. He goes, ask him about Little Steven. He was a part of the Sun City thing as well. It was huge. Yeah. And of course, New York City, he wants to know some stuff of that. But what's your greatest memory of being a part of Sun City?
There were some people in London that we wanted to record. And so I went over there and recorded Michael Monroe from Hanoi Rocks, Stiv Bators from Lords of the New Church, and Nona Hendrix, who was there filming a video at the time.
Try that again.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, that was the reason I moved to New York when we came to do the video. I mean, when Hanoi was breaking up, I was living with Stiv Bators, and Stiv was my best and my only friend at the time. And then Little Steven, I was into. The Voice of America album was a big thing for me. It was really a big influence, and great record still today. And Steven came to produce the Lords of the Church in London, and then him and Stiv, me and Stiv, he had me and Stiv. He played on my demos that I was making at the time, and then he had me and Stiv sing backing vocals for the Sun City song. And then he flew us over to New York to do the video, and we was shooting the crowd scene at the Washington Square Park, and I was like, looking around, there's Bono and there's Fat Boys, there's the Run DMC, there's who was part of that thing. It was Bob Geldof was part of that. It was Bruce Springsteen. There's from Keith Richards to Ronnie Wood and Bob. Whatchamacallit? All the Miles Davis played trumpet on the song, so it was like to be singing on the same song, and Jimmy Cliff, Darling in Love with Nona Hendrix, Hall & Oates, there was so many cool, the Temptations guys. There was so many.
Wow.
Well, the coolest Eddie Kendrick, and there were all the coolest and biggest names in music that were part of that, and that was a great. I was really proud to be part of that, because it was the statement that after that nobody could go and play at the holiday resort, the Sun City, with a clear conscience, and and Ringo Starr was on. Ringo's son Zach Starr could play drums, and it was a real Bonnie Raitt, the guy from Midnight Oil, and it was a great honor to be part of that. And then Little Steven became my best friend, and that's when I decided to move to New York and start my solo career. Stiv was the one that said, I had no plans after I finished Hanoi. I thought Hanoi should maintain its integrity, and then break up after Razzle died and Sammy left, so it wouldn't have been the same anymore. So that's why I wanted to just end the band and maintain the integrity of the band. And then Stiv said, he encouraged me to start a solo career. Well, I guess why not? I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And Stiv said, well, sure, you could start a solo career, be Michael Monroe, and they say to them, so what would you rather be, Mike or Michael? I said, well, I was Michael from the beginning. So yeah, Michael sounds better. Steve. Yeah, I agree. And I said, okay, well, I don't have any songs. Well, you used to write, right? Yes, I did actually. Not that much, but I just let Andy start, Andy always said, oh, he had a better song. So I just kind of gave up on writing. And then I have some ideas. And then, we started we worked on, I recorded some demos and Stiv was supporting me. So he was the one who kind of was helping me out and supporting me because I didn't know what I was going to do. And obviously I was devastated from losing Razzle, and Hanoi was my life. Of course, the whole band was, so my world was shattered. And so, yeah, he really was a important friend to me, and little Steven. In all the 10 years I lived in Manhattan, from then on, Steven was always there, a good friend. And he produced the Demolition 23 album, which was still one of my favorite albums I've done. And Steven was very rock and roll, he's a real rocker at heart. So yeah, Steven was has always been a dear friend. And
so you had you had a support group. I mean,
those two people,
yeah.
important people. Yeah.
The most important people. After Hanoi, did you just feel like you felt lost? I'm like, where am I going to go now at this point? Or what am I going to do? Or
I had no plans really. I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
So I started from the beginning. I mean, started from scratch, basically. I moved to New York, and I was homeless at first for a couple of months. And then I slept on people's floors and stuff. And then I started, putting a band together and stuff, like
I always would see you around Roxy, and I would see you around the New York City time, because that's when he was doing Electric Angels. And I remember right where the Hells Angels block was, and where you lived down the block.
Yeah, I had my first solo gig was actually at the Hells Angels block party in 1987. They blocked off the street and put a stage up there, and we borrowed a backline from another band that was there. I forgot, some metal band. So I played my first show and at that block party. Plus I introduced their vice president to Bruce Springsteen once when I was at the Little Steven show at the Ritz. And the vice president, Teddy, and this other angel, they were at the bar there. And as I was leaving, I said, what are you doing here? He says, well, they want to see Bruce, because, they knew he was going to walk by there when he was leaving the building. So I met Bruce through Steven. So when Bruce came by, I said, would you say hi to my friend, to the Hells Angels vice president? And Bruce is so nice. He talked to him for like a half an hour or something at the bar.
So you got protection afterwards. You got protection.
Like, whatever you need, just stick your head out the window, man.
That's great. Let me ask you, out of your records that you put out, it's hard to pick.
My favorite, you were going to ask, was my favorite album of my own?
Yeah.
Well, the new one, I Live Too Fast to Die Young. That's my favorite album right now. And I think from the earlier ones, maybe Demolition 23 and Not Faking It, and Demolition 23 probably the strongest. But yeah, the last 5 albums have been very good, and the new one, I Live Too Fast to Die Young, that's my favorite at the moment.
At the moment, okay, yeah, there it is.
I think people ask me 60 years now, and what's my favorite high point of my career? I think this is the best time now. Because I'm, always try to improve and try to do. There's always room for improvement, so I keep trying to get better at what I do and make a better album and do a better gig every time. And so this is the highlight of my career to me. And having on tour, having Alice Cooper sing "Happy Birthday" to me on my 60th birthday. That was one of the highlights to me, anyways.
Yeah.
It's not like, it wasn't in the 80s or, because I feel like I've been just trying to get better, and I'm still climbing, and so, but yeah, I think the newest album is the best one so far.
Well, you know what? It is it's a great rock and roll record. Everybody out there, links are down below. Check it out. Follow Michael wherever you could catch him on tour. He'll be playing from this year to next year. And you know what, Mike? Thanks for giving us the good music and the opportunity of me talking with you today.
Thank you. I would love to talk more about.
Oh man, I want to talk about 𝗠𝗢𝗙𝗪 that you played on, and one of my favorite Johnny Thunders. And there's so many things I want to ask you. I'm gonna have to kiss some ass to get you back on here. I know it, but I hope I didn't embarrass myself, and I hope we
did not at all. It was
great
talking to you, and I'll be happy to talk to you again.
Yeah, we will hook up. But thank you very much, and don't fire Carl. All right, just
of course not.
I'll shave next time.
Don't worry about the beard, and I have the best band I could hope for. I could never.
You got a great band. You got a great band. And thanks for answering all the questions. I'll let you cut out of here. Mr.
Pleasure.
Michael Monroe.
And we'll all set the world to rights.
Click on Michael's link right down below. I Live Too Fast to Die Young. It's only rock and roll, and we like it. Great record, great artist, and support it. We'll see you then. Until then, everybody, we'll catch you all later. Who loves you, baby? We do.